Hi, so you thought we were going to go for a walk, go to a beach, but I just couldn't wait. So I've decided to use a bit of poetic license and to show you video quite a little bit out of sequence, and we'll go to the beach for the walk on the next one, because this is about St Kilda. Firstly, we'd like to say a huge thank you to Howard and Sally here for putting us up for the next 3 nights and kindly looking after our Blue for us. Because dogs are not allowed on St Kilda, and it would have made this trip extremely difficult. So thanks, Howard and Sally. So it's here, the morning we've been waiting for. We've had our fingers crossed, and someone smiled upon us because we're actually going. And if you hadn't guessed it already, we're going to St Kilda. This is our boat coming. No, going back now, no. Changed my mind, I don't want to do it. Morning, are you Angus then? Thank you, Angus, for doing this and rescuing us. Thank you.
Morning, morning, how are you?
Not so bad. How's the weather?
Oh, it's lovely.
Good morning.
How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. I think I'm awake.
An early start.
Anyway, I'm not bothered. So we're on. Yeah.
Don't really need them on in here, but if you're outside,
Okay.
and if you do put them on, just leave them on till we get ashore on the island. You have to put them on to get ashore. And
Right, okay.
the life jackets inflate automatically if you fall in the water. We haven't had anybody in the water in 20 years, so I don't want anybody jumping in today. Once you get out to the island, the ranger will meet you and give you a brief introduction to the island. Yesterday she spent half an hour, too long, so I'll have a chat with her today and maybe try and get you away quicker. It's just too long for people to hang around. That's it basically. There's a toilet out the back of the wheelhouse there. There's 2 buttons on there, button 1 before you go and button 2 after you finish. The blue hand towels will not go down the toilet.
Okay.
The normal toilet paper is fine, blue hand towels won't go down, so they will block it, and then Roddy will have a busy afternoon. Wheat cups round the side. These are not for tea, by the way.
No.
So if you're feeling unwell,
Yeah.
okay. Again, give Roddy a shout. We didn't have anybody ill yesterday, so it's quite good conditions out there. Fresh air always helps as well, so we can grab a seat outside. Should have you on the island by 11 o'clock, so that's the plan in it. Okay, everybody happy?
Yes, thank you.
It's going to be like an aircraft, it's just going to go.
Yeah, probably.
Mess with that.
No. Here we go. There's only one way to land on the island of St Kilda, and that's by using this very small inflatable dinghy. Not an easy task getting it launched on a rocking boat. Well, there's two of us. Are you coming, Ben?
If you're going to do any hill walking, the gap at the back of the village is a nice walk.
Okay.
It won't take you long getting up there. Top of the island is clear today, so you can go from the gap all the way to the top, along to the mast, and then back down the road. If you're going to do hill walking, do it first. You're not worried about time in the afternoon.
Okay.
We're leaving again at 3:30. Don't miss that one. Otherwise you're here, but
Cost you a lot more than that one.
here it's very slippery.
Okay.
Very, very careful on it.
Chopper going. Chopper coming behind us.
20 minutes from you is for the helicopter.
Oh.
So St Uist, welcome to Hirta everybody. Lovely to have you here. Has anyone been here before?
No.
So I'll do a quick intro just to give you sort of the basics of the place. Ask any questions you want at the end. So you've just arrived at the only place in the UK which has mixed World Heritage status. So we have that for our wildlife and our cultural heritage. So it's the only place in the UK that has these two statuses. So we're very proud of that fact. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. First and foremost, so the most important question that's on all your minds is where's the toilet? So I'll just if anyone's absolutely desperate, please just make your way to the toilets, but I'll just keep going. The nearest one is just round the back of the big building here, the mast.
Right.
There's one in there. So I'm Sue, and I'm the ranger, and I work for the National Trust for Scotland, who are the owners of the whole archipelago of St Kilda. I live here in the manse with my colleagues Craig, who's our seabird and marine ranger, and Claire, who's our archaeologist.
The ranger went on to explain a little bit more about the wildlife and the archaeology, including these really sweet sheep. They're so tiny, and it was lambing time. And later on in the trip we spoke to one of our fellow travellers, and they said they'd actually seen a lamb being born. We started our tour of the village in the chapel. The church was built in 1826 by Robert Stevenson, and later, around about 1920, this rather large pulpit was added. After falling into disrepair after the evacuation, it was restored over a 20-year period by the Scottish National Trust. Schoolroom. And this is where they set up a little pop-up shop where you can buy souvenirs. Yeah, that's a puffin. There are many photos on the wall, including one of the school children. Unfortunately, it wasn't dated. Leaving the chapel and the schoolroom behind, we set off to head for the village, and there was a constant accompaniment of the noisy fulmars. Children in this little cottage. Life was extremely hard on St Kilda. The winters were impossible. There was no ships, or very few that ever stopped by. The St Kildians had to rely on meat from their skewers and fulmars by climbing down the cliffs on ropes and risking their lives. The population ebbed and flowed over the years. And it was finally in 1930 August of 1930, that the final 36 people left the island for good. And I'm sure they must have had very mixed feelings. Relief, tainted with the sadness that they were leaving their homes behind and going to who knows what. And walking up this street, you just couldn't help imagining who'd walked there before you and exactly what they were feeling when they walked there for the last time. We found just the spot, and ducking down behind the wall we started to eat our lunch, and a discussion followed about how we felt about the place.
Well, I've said it before, I've said it many a time. I just read that little article in a little Reader's Digest leaflet about this young lass during the war that ended up having to, and her family having to hide away from the. And then ever since I read that, and then found out that the house was a museum, I wanted to go and see it.
Yeah.
And it just takes something like that, and you see something like this on the TV, and then you look at the history of it and you think, oh wow.
And it's not exactly an easy place to get to either, is it?
I think that's what makes it more...
The remoteness of it.
The fact that you can't just say, oh, let's get a boat over to, you can be waiting years before the weather's right, because you think you'd have a waiting list,
Well, they do. That's why they have two trips: A, for the weather, and B, what they have a reserve list.
In some of them.
So if the trip goes on like the trip went yesterday, this would have been Angus's reserve. Anybody that wants to go will get the chance to go on the second day.
But I mean, you still have to book weeks in advance, don't you?
Well, my booking disappeared overnight the day that I wanted.
It's not something you can ring up and say, oh, I'm coming up this weekend, can I book a trip, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry, no, we're full. We're full up till so-and-so.
All summer's gone.
You know what I mean, yeah.
Because they only run it from April to the end of September, I think.
Like I say, it takes the same amount of time to get across here on a speedboat. Well, I say speed, well it is in a way.
Yeah.
As it does for us to drive down to see family.
Well, it doesn't look many on that little boat, does there? That's going to take them a while.
It also makes you wonder though how they ended up here in the first place as well though.
Yeah, I was going to read up on that because I don't know either.
If they knew that there wasn't any food, unless they used to have animals.
They had animals, and they used to grow crops as well.
Yeah. How did it get to the stage where they ended up having to eat nothing but seabirds and...
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, a lot of these sheep, apparently, I was just reading, weren't on Hirta, they were on Soy, which is a neighbouring island. And then when they evacuated everybody off, they brought some over onto Hirta just to let it rewild. And obviously they're doing exceptionally well. No intervention unless absolutely necessary, and even then they don't try and save the lambs. If they're born with difficulty, they're born with difficulty, and that's the end of it. Oh, gosh. I can understand why people say once you've been, it's just in you. There's just a feeling about the place, isn't there? Tell you what, it's a bit of a steep one, that.
It is. It's a bit tough. You think it's worth trying that?
Well, there, what time we got?
Oh, we're at the time. It's 1 o'clock.
2 hours.
2.5
What, up and back?
Well, it'll be up and down, won't it?
Yeah, we'll see how
Up and
far
down.
we get.
Have a look at the cliff edge.
See how far we get. Whew.
It's like an old Roman fort, is that one, isn't it? I think that's where they kept the livestock in there.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, it's certainly not a house, is it?
No. A bit boggy underfoot here after all the rain. I'm not sure whether I can do that, but we'll give it a go, eh? How long have we got? 2 hours it could take us an hour to get up there. Well, Bernie, we made it.
Yeah, well worth it.
It's a long way down.
That's why you don't go too close to the edge.
No,
especially with the wind blowing us that way.
I'm looking backwards as well. Down to the bay. That's as close to the edge as I'm getting.
Hmm?
That's as close to that edge I'm getting. Wow. Trying to stop puffing. Why is it all people always make a noise when they sit down? You mean I do?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm so glad you persuaded us to come up.
Well, it's like I said, I mean, this might be the only chance we get to come out here.
We'll never do it
So
again.
you've got to make the effort and
Make the most of what you got.
get views like that, haven't you?
Wow.
Incredible.
Oh. Do we have to get back on the boat?
Not for another 2 hours.
Look, 2 hours to get down.
2 hours to get down?
Unless you fancy rolling, it'd be a bit faster that way. Unintentionally. I'm just saying we've got 2 hours to get back to the boat.
Yeah. I want to pop and get one of those cards as well.
Oh, from the shop?
Some little cards for
Online?
online. I need a hat. They haven't got any hats.
A St Kilda cap.
Caps.
Well, Howard's got one. He said it was 19 years ago that he got one, so
know.
maybe they just don't do it anymore.
How can they not do a St Kilda cap? Hello. Two old fogies and a view.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if we want to go on the graveyard and things, we're going to have
Oh
to...
yeah, let's go down and look at that end.
Yeah.
And then work his way back along the main
Yeah. And have a
High
sit,
Street,
have a sit down and
Main Street.
have another drink. I think he makes a cup of tea on the boat once we get back on.
Is it?
I think so. I'm sure I heard him say he makes a cup of tea.
Probably for him, when he's got rid of us lot.
I think the other boat did. The other one said that you got tea or coffee and some of his wife's baking.
Oh, right.
But I'm not
Oh,
sure
wow.
about whether Angus does that, or even if he's got a wife. I don't want to leave. I can imagine coming and staying in a tent. I think you can stay up to 5 nights.
Really?
You've got to get permission, obviously, from the rangers. And right, just a couple of seconds of saying nothing, and then we'll go.
How are you going to go 2 seconds without saying anything? You have no chance.
Yeah, point
Right.
point taken. Right, shh.
what, 2 seconds yet?
Yeah, I
Right,
think that's
come on
long
then.
enough. Let's get moving. I don't want to. It's comfy on this
I know.
rock.
Yeah, we'll set off now and then be steady away.
Right. No, don't. No, they're on the other stacks, I think.
A long way down, is that?
Yeah, I know. I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm too scared. Too much for me.
I know you said the puffins are probably over
They're on the
that way,
stack,
didn't they?
yeah.
Right.
It didn't take us 2 hours to get back down, and we even had time to stop off and admire some of the archaeology. So these, forgive me, I'll voice this over later because I can't remember what she called them. But these are little storerooms where they let the wind blow through the stones. It's got a felt grass roof on the top, which keeps the weather out, but that lets the wind blow through them and it keeps everything cool. And this is where they used to keep all their food. I'm going to have to read up as to why they're scattered about so randomly. Apparently, there's 1,400 of these things on Hirta. Once back down in the bay, the peace was shattered once more by another helicopter flying out, having dropped its supplies. And all too soon our visit to St Kilda was over. And we were back in the dinghy heading back to the boat. But the trip wasn't over yet, because we were going to go and look at the sea stacks that surround the island of Hirta. After enjoying that long-promised cuppa and a couple of slices of lemon drizzle cake, we set off once more to head out to the stacks.
Similar to the ones you see in Hirta itself. It's like a semicircle. There's 3 birds sitting underneath it just now. There's a stone building in there. You just see the window of it opening there. You can see the 3 gannets up beside it. I know that doesn't make sense. Can you see 3 gannets?
Yeah.
They are there. There's no across from Hirta. It's right up to a week over there. There's so many birds flying around today, so if you're looking up, try and keep your mouth closed. Along here, there's a landing spot where they used to land the boats to get across to the stack. Not the easiest. It's relatively calm today, so you can imagine St Kilda's pretty sure-footed, I say.
And they just climb up there without ropes?
They just climb up there.
Wow.
Eventually, when they were hunting, they would use ropes. Like one would go down, one would just shimmy their way up. I'm sure your friend used to have thicker anglers. members amongst us.
The sea stacks here are the highest in Britain. Leaving Stackley behind, we headed across the water to the island of Borarray. Romney pointed out some sheep on the sheer rock face there. It was extremely difficult to spot these sheep even with the naked eye, so catching them on this footage was nigh impossible. But believe me, they were there. Lord knows how they stayed up on that sheer rock.